So, Doc, people listen to us for nonsense, and we give it to them in spades. Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Some would even say, on our best days, malarkey. Braves, defending champs. Boy, it sure would be a shame if there was no season next year and we were just still the defending champs.
Also, this guy that got hit, how old was he?
46.
What a loser, just sissy man. You just got punched in the face by a 90-year-old man? Come on, dude.
I'll bet Doc is like the Sinbad of Ames, Iowa.
Oh,
because people, I didn't realize, I thought it was just a Doc thing with the corn jokes. Iowa people love corn jokes.
Well, you know what they say, knee high by July, baby.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's killing in the Midwest right now. I'm sure when that hits their ears, they're like, that Doc, he gets us.
Doc, what do I love more than anything? That's right, an angry football team.
I prefer to think of Warsaw as like a battle of who's the best saw, right? So you have like a sawzall, you have a skill saw, you have a hacksaw, handsaw. It's just a battle of saws till the death.
Welcome to the Spaghetti Junction Boys podcast, coming to you from the Cut Bet Studio in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. I'm your host, as always, William E. Hildebrand, and I am joined here by the illustrious Doc Jacobson. Before we get things started here, we want to thank our friends over at Cut. I'm sure you have the same problem as we do, and that's hard to keep up with all the different bets you've made against your friends. Who's paid? Who hasn't? What were the terms? On and on. We came across this cool new app called Cut that formalized that whole process so that you don't have to check the notes on your phone or scroll endlessly through your group chat. It's essentially a better version of Venmo, but for betting, with interactive features that make it more social. It tracks all your bets, allows you to create your own lines, see your record against your friends, and perhaps most importantly, ensures that you're paid when you win. Go check them out at cut.com or on Twitter or Instagram at cutbet. That's cut, K-U-T-T. They've also entered into a beta version, so either DM them on Twitter or Instagram or email them at support@cutkutt.com. All right. So to take you behind the scenes a little bit, that is the second time I have given an intro tonight, but we cut the first one. And so, Doc, it's like when you're playing pickup basketball. I don't know if you're like this or when you're at the driving range before a round, where if I'm just hitting all rim or I'm slicing it off the tee, that means I'm going to be absolutely dialed in when it actually comes to game time. Once I'm on the first tee, if I'm just duffing balls at the range, whew, look out. So let's hope that carries over here, because Lord knows I shanked a couple.
Yeah, do you ever like in that warm up or when you're at the tee box, the driving range, do you ever just purposely be like, I'm going to try to do really bad here to make myself feel better? Because like you said, I get in my own head when I'm doing too well in a practice round. I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm just wasting all my good shots right now. This is terrible.
You see, I think you're playing with fire there because you don't want to anger the pickup basketball or golf gods. That's where you really start trifling. They can tell when your intentions are impure. I think the golf and pickup basketball gods really give you an allotment of good shots that you're going to have. They say, all right, you're not very good. I'll give you 30 good ones today. How about that? You choose where you want to use those. You want to use them out on the range, or you want to use them on the court? You want to use them during pickup, like during warm-ups and shoot around when, there's 6 balls flying at the rim, or do you want to use it in the game? And whenever you hit that limit, wherever you hit that limit, you're done.
Are you like, I don't know, Phil Mickelson or the Professor? 30 shots, 30 good shots in a round of anything. That's a hell of a day, bud. I mean, that's a lot. You think about it, that's like almost 2 a hole. I'm lucky to get 1 good shot a hole. I mean, granted, I can't get it out of a tee box to save my life, but hey.
Listen, when you take as many shots as I take in a round of golf, 30 is not that terribly many. And I'm not saying like 30 shots you tell your friends about after the round. I'm talking about 30 shots where, like, if I just hit a 3-wood pure and straight, that's 1. All right. Okay. I'm not talking about like chipping in from the bunker. I'm not talking about 30 hero shots. And same with hoops. I mean, I'm talking about just the ball goes in the net. whether you throw something up after just hideous looking Euro step that looks cool in your head as you're thinking about it, but everyone else is looking like that wasn't great. Or you're putting up, a turnaround jump shot. I'm just talking about getting it through the net. All right.
30 made shots in pickup basketball. That's still, what are you, Wilt Chamberlain?
That's including warm-ups.
Okay.
If we're playing to 21 by 1s and 2s, I'm good for 3 to 6 makes a game.
21 by 1s and 2s. What court are you playing at, man?
What? Why is that so outlandish? That's how we play to the LA Fitness, man.
11s, dude. You got to keep them games running. You got to just keep going.
Well, you see, actual good
2s and
basketball
3s,
players,
221.
Good basketball players go to LA Fitness, so you can count on more shots going in than YMCA. So that's probably why y'all have to play to 11.
Yeah, because James Harden's a good basketball player. Who was the last pro that was seen at an LA Fitness?
I don't know. Pros go to YMCA.
Oh,
what
true.
What do you prove with that?
True. Fair enough.
You're acting like LeBron James is just walking through a Metro Atlanta YMCA, just like, hey, what time's the run today?
Might be. Never know.
The Chamblee, Georgia YMCA is just the Rucker Park of Atlanta, according to you?
Could be, dude. You haven't been out there in a while. You don't know the talent going on. You don't see these streets I'll be fighting in every day, dude.
So I've really started to notice something lately, and that is that the MLB lockout has been discussed not once. I never see that on Twitter. I never see it on SportsCenter. I don't hear it on podcasts or on sports radio. Have you noticed that like when there's a labor issue with the NFL or the NBA, it leads every SportsCenter. It is the first thing being discussed, and they go in depth. First Take's all about it. Get Up is talking all about it, and so forth. DeMaurice Smith becomes like the most talked about guy on Twitter once there's labor issues within the NFL. How many people are talking about Tony Clark? How many times are you hearing the name Tony Clark lately? And Roger Goodell or Adam Silver, there's always like weird videos of them like walking through a hotel lobby, like, here's Adam Silver in New York on his way to the meeting. Or it'll just be Roger Goodell just walking in the street talking to 3 other people in suits. Here's Roger Goodell. Of course, big day for him in the NFL. Who the hell is talking about Manfred? The only thing people are talking about Manfred on Twitter isn't even about the lockout right now. It's just, hey, you know who's an idiot? Rob Manfred.
It's pretty dumb. Yeah, and it's weird too because it's even like sneaky. You don't even think about it till somebody brings it up to you. I didn't even have a second of thought on this entire topic until you text me today. Be like, that is pretty weird. There is not a single soul talking about a potential MLB lockout. Or there is a lockout, but it could last the whole season. Who knows? We're getting dangerously close to spring ball too. That's just it's weird. It's weird.
It's sort of like with COVID, you had things that were just a part of your day-to-day life, or maybe not even day-to-day, but regular life, and then they just kind of went away, and you didn't really think about it. I love baseball, and of course, here in Atlanta, you want to raise the banner and so forth. But it feels like there's a lot of the country where if baseball just quietly never came back, no one would mention it.
Oh yeah,
it's a really bad place for baseball to be.
The Plain States, dude. And that's where the good farm league baseballs are. But in terms of MLB, yeah, they're not really doing anything.
There's no such thing as good farm league baseball.
Iowa Cubs, dude.
That's just a minor league baseball team. I thought you were talking about like everyone from Dubuque was getting together and it's just like, oh no, you don't want to mess with Mad Tony. Mad Tony can throw a heater over there. I thought this was like actual like a farm league.
Talking about Cornman Carl? You don't want to pitch at his head. He'll come at you. Mm-hmm. He's throwing fists right away.
All right, since we can't afford a fence, whoever can hit it past that tractor there, that's a home run. But it really is I mean, baseball's been dealing with marketing issues forever that they have who may go down as the greatest position player in baseball history in Mike Trout. And Mike Trout can go a lot of different places in this country and not get mobbed. Like Mike Trout can go into an Applebee's in Durham, North Carolina, and have no one know who he is. LeBron James goes anywhere, and everyone knows who he is. Tom Brady can go anywhere, and everyone knows who he is. It's just we've known baseball's been in a bad place like that, and it's not the talent. You can argue about the aesthetics of the game as much as you want, about the launch angles, the three true outcomes, and so forth, the time of games, the pitching changes, and so forth. You can go on and on about all that. But it's not a talent issue. There are stars in the league, marketable young stars, yet you really truly know that baseball is in a bad place by the fact that no one seems to really miss it yet. Because with the NFL, if you're getting to say, like you're comparing with how baseball is getting close to spring training, if the NFL gets to July without a deal, or the NBA gets to August without a deal, people start sweating. People are like, all right, come on, figure this out. We're getting down to the wire here. Come on, get this going. We're there. We're at a place where pitchers and catchers should be getting to Arizona and Florida soon. We're a couple weeks away from when everyone's supposed to report to camp. And I don't sense much urgency. Like, I don't feel a pulse from any direction of someone saying, hey, we've got to get this done. So if you're at a place where people aren't panicking as you're getting close to camp, and that you're not seeing widespread clamoring of let's get a deal done, let's figure this out, that's rough. I mean, when are people going to start realizing that baseball's not here yet? I know the Super Bowl is a big part of that, and we just have one more game in 5 days from now. But is it opening day? Like, if we just say that baseball doesn't come back this year, at what point do people start saying, what the hell? Where is it? What's going on? Is it opening day? Is it when basketball ends in June? When is it?
Man. They have the All-Star break.
Yeah. Like that's just the weird thing to me, is that there's no Jurassic Park glass of water shaking about baseball not being back. And what they always say, it's not about bad PR. It's what really hurts you is being irrelevant.
Yeah.
In baseball, and more so than I've ever felt in my lifetime. And I've seen the issues firsthand in baseball over the last couple of years. But the fact that, like I said, if it doesn't come back, it feels like some people are just going to be like, all right, we're just the end of the Yankees. That's it. No more Yankees anymore.
And it's crazy, too, like, even to build on that, is like, if you watch ESPN right now, you will have more hockey coverage on ESPN than you will have on a baseball lockout. It's insane. I love hockey, so I'm here for all the hockey coverage I can get. And I know ESPN just picked up the rights to hockey this year, but still, it's baseball. I don't know the exact date that pitchers and catchers report, but like you said, we're within a month. I mean, we're there. We're at the doorstep of whether or not this season's going to go.
And you're right. It is the reason that they're covering hockey a bunch is because they, along with Turner, just have these new hockey rights, so they want to play with their new toy. And it is pretty funny that you have ESPN as a journalistic entity to some degree, but then also as an entertainment entity to another degree, and that those just kind of mesh into each other of, hey, we're not talking about hockey because people don't want to hear about hockey, while ignoring the fact that, well, maybe people don't talk about hockey or quote unquote don't care about hockey because you don't broadcast it, because the Stanley Cup has to be shown on NBC Sports Network.
Yeah.
Not even NBC. And So now you're able to kind of shape the conversation if you're ESPN and saying, hey, we have this hockey coverage. It's not as much as it was in the 90s and early 2000s, but there's still a large contingent of people who first thing they do when they turn on TV, SportsCenter. That they will watch one SportsCenter throughout the day somehow, maybe just parts of it, but they'll still watch SportsCenter regardless of what's being talked about on SportsCenter. And you can shape that. You make 10 to 20% of that SportsCenter about hockey. You build up that anticipation, and all of a sudden, guess who's watching Penguins and Senators on Tuesday night? But to that point, it's just very, very alarming to see where baseball is at. And they were handed the keys to a Cadillac of America's pastime. And now we're at a point where it's just ho-hum. And God bless the people at the MLB Network, because everyone in sports media, anyone who's ever been in sports media, knows the summer is a nightmare. I mean, you try and fill it up with NFL camp, with the NBA draft. You've got the dog days of summer for baseball. It's a nightmarish time. Where that's why, again, showing you how the sausage is made, if you're ever thinking to yourself, oh, hey, why is ESPN talking about this? They've just got to make news. They've got to fill time. It's a 24-hour-a-day news network, and they've got ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, SEC Network, ACC Network, Longhorn Network, ESPNU, on and on. And they have to fill that content and that void in the digital space as well of just, oh, they're ranking which emojis deal with which NFL franchise the most. And you're just like, this is crap. Who cares? They know. Trust me, they know. But there's a Wednesday memo that goes out that tells everyone, hey, we're going to talk about this, or hey, this is going on, blah, 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 blah. And because there's jack shit of substance actually going on. And so God help the people at MLB Network, because usually around this time, hey, what's going to be the big thing to watch in Orioles camp? Oh, hey, is top prospect X going to make the Padres this year? So-and-so hasn't signed. Remember, Bryce Harper didn't sign till spring training. Hey, Freddie Freeman, is he going to go back to the Braves? Is he going to become a Yankee? Is he going to go back out west? Blah, blah, blah. Like, there'd be their usual storylines that they could fill an entire network with. But what do you talk about now? You talk about either leaks from the lockout in the negotiations, or you're going to talk about players tweeting about it. Like Max Scherzer has been really vocal in all of his Twitter handling about it all and so forth. Or you just going to speculate on it. Like, what do you do on MLB Network, on MLB.com? What do you do if you're a team beat reporter? My God, that's got to be boring.
It has to be akin to like being put in a padded room and just straitjacketed and just being like, well, you got to figure out how to fill time.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about a game that we know is going to happen, and that is Super Bowl 56. 56, LVI. We've got the Bengals. We've got the Los Angeles Rams. So the Bengals have been – this is their third time in the Super Bowl. They lost in 1982 and 1989 to the 49ers. The Rams, this is going to be their fourth Super Bowl. They have one ring. Back when they were in St. Louis, they won in 2000. Here in Atlanta, the Kevin Dyson game, reaching for the goal line. God, that looked desperate. In the city of Los Angeles, they have just won. The LA Raiders won in 84. It's going to be a fascinating game. The line's 3.5, and we'll get to our final Gamblin Dans of this season in a bit. But, Doc, what are you looking for in the Super Bowl?
A lot of gritty dances. That's a big thing I'm looking for. Just
Mac
gritty
Jones
all over the place.
No, Mac Jones ruined that. No one's ever going to be able to do it again. That one hockey player went viral for doing it this week on the ice, and that was incredibly cool, and we were back in on the gritty. But then everyone started remembering Mac Jones doing it again. Mac Jones is never going to be able to do something cool. Even when he did, like, the cigar smoking, like, it wasn't great. It wasn't Joe Burrow smoking.
Yeah.
Like, Mac Jones is just Joe Burrow's younger brother that people are just kind of ambivalent on. And
Yeah,
he shouldn't dance. I've seen numerous videos of Mac Jones dancing, and my God, what's the opposite of a cookout? Because that's where Mac Jones is going.
No, not a quinceanera. Like a wine and cheese tasting event at some really hoity-toity place. That's the opposite.
Meant to be rhetorical, but you nailed it. All right, keep going.
I'm just excited. I think it's gonna be a really close game. I don't really see a defense coming out here and taking over. I want to see how that offensive line of the Bengals matches up with Aaron Donald and just how they kind of slow down that Rams defensive front. They are a good defensive front, and just watching them tear up the NFC this year, especially in the playoffs, has been awesome to watch. But we know, Burrow's a tough kid. He could take a hit, took 9 sacks in Tennessee's game. So we know it's not going to mess up his game, but it could mess up their offensive game plan. So I want to see kind of that game within the game of the offensive linemen. Me being a former offensive lineman myself, it's awesome to see and just kind of zone in on. And then I don't think this will probably be. I don't think there's going to be a quarterback named an MVP in this game. I think this goes.
Whoa! Don't you dare spoil one of.
I'm not spoiling. I'm just thinking no quarterback will be an MVP this year.
So, listen, the Rams' offense is predicated on making you tackle in open space, and Cincinnati has some guys who can do that. Mike Hilton, near and dear to my heart, excellent open field tackler. He's had a big postseason. You may remember him as the one who tipped up and made that pick against Tannehill. But still, that's easier said than done with making those plays in space and in the open field when you have a guy like Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp does not get shut down. When he gets shut down, he gets 60 yards in the game, which is just bonkers. But Arizona has done a really good job on him this year, and you know that that's the tape that the Bengals defensive coaches are watching and trying to figure out how to get Cooper Kupp out of the game. But look what happened in the first round of the playoffs. They take away Cooper Kupp, and Higbee and OBJ go nuts. That's something that's scary, is that Beckham is coming into his own. So that's that side of the ball. And I'm very interested to see. Trey Hendrickson has been fantastic for the Bengals. I think he's 5th in the NFL in sacks this year. But what you said, can the Bengals protect Joe Burrow? I don't think they can. They've let him get sacked over 50 times this year. Meanwhile, the Rams have 50 sacks of their own on defense. And so now you have Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners in all of football, will try to take away Jamar Chase. And so after he takes away Chase, if he can take away Chase, because they're just going to try and get him out there on an island. I think both sides feel okay about that. But Jalen Ramsey is more than capable. But you're going to line up Von Miller and Aaron Donald on that line. Aaron Donald is going to attack the weak right side of that Bengals line and just try and force everything to the left. I just don't see how they're going to be able to get Joe Mixon a traditional amount of touches with having any modicum of success. They're going to have to try and swing it out to him. They're going to have to try and screen out Joe Mixon. But for me, I want to be wrong. I have nothing against the LA Rams, but I want the Bengals to win. Even as an Ole Miss alum, it feels weird rooting for an LSU guy like Joe Burrow, but I just love Joe Burrow. I don't know how you couldn't love Joe Burrow, but I think this is going to be a blowout, honestly. I know that the line is 3.5, and they're not even – Vegas isn't even giving the 3 points for the home field because that's just not how the ticket allotment is going to shape out. I just don't – unless Matt Stafford, the moment is too big for him, and he's never been in a moment like this. Like, he didn't play in a national championship game in Georgia. He this is the first time advancing through the playoffs because he's used to playing for the Lions. So if we've seen that the moment's never too big for Joe Burrow, but that's the only way I can see them into this because I think Burrow's going to get battered. I think they're going to absolutely toss him around back there. He'll still make plays because Joe Burrow gets his, but they need Matthew Stafford to turn the ball over a couple times. Because if you allow Sean McVay to put the pieces in place of Stafford, Odell Beckham, Cooper Kupp, Higbee, get Cam Akers going out of the backfield, and so on, they don't stand a chance. Because then you're going to have Joe Burrow trying to throw his way out of that, and they're just going to sick the dogs on him every time. He's not going to have enough time to get back there and try and beat them down the field. He's not going to have enough time to nickel and dime it down the field. So this whole thing rests on two things. Can the Bengals protect Burrow? And I don't think they can. I don't know how you could think they can, how anyone could think they can. And can Matt Stafford just go out there and execute what McVay wants him to? Because if he can, I don't know if it even matters if Joe Burrow's upright. I think this game may be, unfortunately, over pretty quickly. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, because I want to see a good Super Bowl, and I would like to see Cincinnati win. Even though their ownership, for God's sake, is just the poster child for we're fine with mediocrity. Yeah. Like they tried Andy Dalton out there forever. And we're just like, nope, that's our guy. We're riding with old Red Rifle Andy. You can't – if Tom Brady was named Andy, he wouldn't be the GOAT, all right? If his name was Andy Brady, not the greatest of all time. You can't say, hey, come buy season tickets. We've got Andy out there. Oh, you don't think we're going to go all the way this year? Are you kidding? Have you seen Andy? That's asinine. And, who's the leader of men? Marvin. Marvin Lewis just kept losing games, and they were like, that's fine, good enough for us. There's fans in the stands. Did you see that catch from TJ Houshmandzadeh? You're doing great. Andy and Marvin, keep running it back. And so for them to ascend to the mountaintop is kind of just rewarding someone who is complacent forever. But I would like to see Cincinnati win for their fans and for Joe Burrow. And so this could be the official coronation of Joe Burrow, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't.
Yeah, the only way it happens, like you said, if Stafford throws some picks and this thing turns into a shootout, I like the Bengals. But as you said, if that defense just does what it does and boa constricts that offensive line, this game ain't going to be close at all. I mean, I'd be surprised if the Bengals put up more than 15, 16 points if that defense comes to play. So that'll be interesting.
Have you seen the numbers that people throw around about how much money U.S. businesses lose because of the lack of productivity on Monday?
No, give them to me. Hit me with them.
I wish I would have saved it. I saw it on Twitter earlier. It was like 5-point-something billion lost because of decreased productivity, which if you're looking to create a victim where we can feel sorry for them of, oh, no, they lost X, corporate America's not that, my friend. Oh, poor corporate America. How will Jeff Bezos and his bridge-destroying ass ever recover from Super Bowl Monday?
I mean, they need to move it back a week, put it on President's
We
Day.
have to find – okay, so there are bowl committees in college. Orange Bowl Committee, Fiesta Bowl Committee, like Peach Bowl Committee that they convene for a little bit throughout the year and then more as it gets closer and all that. I don't know. Is there a committee for the Super Bowl? There has to be. And who is making the decision for the Super Bowl to be on a Sunday? Like, I know in an ideal world, we want that Monday off, or at the very least, a half day. I think half day, we're fine. Turn off the lights, keep them off, let everyone come in at noon. We're good. But the more pragmatic thing would just be for the NFL to throw that on a Saturday. You don't have to worry about short rest. They're already getting an extra week off. There's got to be some reason it's on a Sunday. Do we even know why it's on a Sunday?
The NFL owns Sunday, dude. It's their day.
You don't think people would think they move to Saturday? They have games on Thursday. They have games on Monday.
You don't fix what ain't broken, man. Can't fix what's not broken. So I agree with you. I think we just, as Americans, need to have that Monday off. Corporate America can survive with one more holiday in a year. Let's be honest here, people. I would give up one vacation day to have – hell, give it two. I'll give up 2 vacation days to have the Monday of the Super Bowl off. No, you can't, because then your manager's like, oh, you get a little tuned up for the Super Bowl, huh? I'm like, yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah, I did. You got a problem with that? You want me here hungover, or you want me here just chilling?
Why are you so contentious in this conversation you made up in your head?
I've had a really contentious day, dude. I've been all over the damn place today, and I'm trying to keep it together.
So, I mean, what's the implication that if the Super Bowl is on a Saturday that we're going to lose people to raves? Like, no, if it's on a Saturday, it's still the Super Bowl and people will watch. But there's got to be a reason that they do this shit to us, that the national title game in football and in basketball is always on a damn Monday, and that the Super Bowl is always on a Sunday. And it really lends itself to a weird couple days surrounding that.
It's got to be the media circus. I think it's the media circus before. This whole week has just been, well, you can't, the Pro Bowl.
Shut up. Come on. I just had every expletive run through my head when you just
Pro Bowl, dude. Come on. It's a football game.
That
was the worst experience of football I've watched in a long time, was that Pro Bowl game. Oh my gosh, I was so mad.
The Pro Bowl's a nightmare. I'll be honest, all all-star games are awful. Like all four of the major sports, their all-star games are horrible. But all four of them, where the real electricity is in the skills competition.
Yes, they just need to be skills competitions. Get rid of the game.
Slam dunk contest. You've got the celebrity softball game. I love that MLB All-Star Weekend as well. And then watch the NFL skills competition where they're like thread the needle, best catch, dodgeball, all electric.
Yeah, hockey does the same thing football does, just in a hockey sense. They're not throwing.
Oh, no, the hockey skills competition is fantastic as well. Breaking the plates? Are you kidding?
Oh, the plates are awesome. I love when it's like an obstacle course that they do. They have to like go through the cones and all. Oh yeah, that's great. I love it.
I almost just shut down the podcast for good when you said that the media had Pro Bowl coverage obligations.
They do, dude. Come on,
I can't wait to see what that clip looks like in that like 15 seconds, because I think I was like dumbfounded, just a loss of words, and also just fighting through my rage. I didn't expect that answer, and I'll be honest, it really messed me up.
Yeah, I mean, great things come from dark places, and this brain is awfully dark.
Well, let's get to the final Gamblin' Dans of the year. Of course, Gamblin' Dans is presented by CutBet. So CutBet is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that allows friends and strangers to bet real money on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events electronically. Think of it as a more interactive version of Venmo with a focus on betting, ultimate put your money where your mouth is platform. If you want to join the beta app, just DM CutBet on Twitter or Instagram at CutBet, KUTTBET, or email support@cut.com. I just had to pause at the beginning of that because I was still thinking about the Pro Bowl. All right.
I thought you were giving a moment of silence to our last Gambling Dans of the year. It's basically a death that will be reborn.
I'm giving you some space to fill so you can insert a legal copy of Sarah McLachlan to play there.
Right. He didn't say that, FBI. He didn't say that, FCC. It wasn't illegal.
This is going to be used in court. But with Ben being an attorney, and Ben will be back next week, Ben being an attorney and Doc being our producer and also pragmatically cautious, they keep advising against this suggestion that I keep telling them when we talk about music. I'm just like, nah, just play Guns N' Roses. What are they going to do, take us to court? They're like, yes. No, they will. I'm like, okay, so we get a cease and desist from Guns N' Roses. Fine, send it to me. I'll send you my personal address, Axel.
What has Metallica ever done to anybody? Except almost shut down the internet.
Oh man, those dicks ruined Napster. All right, so for this, being it's just one game, instead of boring you by talking about who we like in the over/under or the spread, we're gonna mix things up again. We're going to give you 5 prop bets that we love. So I'll get us started, Doc. I'll give 2 and then turn it over to you. First one I got is in the coin toss. Take tails. Tails has failed a lot lately. The Bengals called it at the beginning of the game against the Chiefs. It lost. They called it going into overtime. It lost. The Bills famously called tails in overtime. Chiefs go down and score. So tails never fails. Tails has failed considerably. But what do you see when you show up at a roulette table at the casino and you see that it hits red, 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 red? That means black's coming, my friend, or the 0-0 and everyone loses. But black is coming sooner rather than later. I think heads has been too streaky, all right? And so I'm calling for that to come to an end. Give me tails. Second one I'm going for, give me the first turnover of the game being an interception. That's at -160. So I know that Joe Burrow's going to be facing a lot of pressure. He's playing in his first Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford, he's a vet. He's been around for a while. He may get a little jumpy, just had a birthday, maybe still on some sugar high from the birthday cake. He's going to have Trey Hendrickson coming at him. He's been a little jumpy. He's made some bad throws so far this postseason. Listen, it's either that, a fumble, or the other option is no turnover/turnover on downs, which I did like that turnover on downs. Give me the pick. I think someone's going to be a little jumpy. Someone will make a play. It's going to be a pick.
I like those. My first pick here, first artist to appear at the halftime show, the one, the only Snoop D-O-double-G. I mean, it's obvious. Plus 350. Give me your money, Vegas. Give me your money. Snoop Dogg is the most relevant person in all of music, in all of entertainment, to be honest, other than The Rock, if you're talking movies. And The Rock having that song that he put out there was garbage. And Snoop Dogg is the man. He's going to carry this show and make it probably one of the greatest halftime shows since Michael Jackson or Prince. I'm throwing it out there. Give me Snoop Dogg plus 350, being the first artist on stage at the halftime show. Pick number 2, Gatorade Bath. Love this pick. I bet it every year. Switch up the colors every now and again, but I don't know. I was just looking at the lines today, and you know what stuck out to me? Green, yellow, lime. I'm seeing green this weekend, baby. Give me all the money. So I'm taking Gatorade Bath as my second pick, being green, yellow, or lime at plus 450. Great odds. Give me that money, Vegas.
I'm going to start off with Cooper Kupp over 105.5 yards. He's gone over that mark 13 times already this season. Stafford may be a little nervous, so he'll be trying to key in on old reliable there. That's Cooper Kupp. It's whether he's playing in the slot, he's running, he can still run deep routes. He can run those little gadget snake routes. He's just damn near impossible to stop. And are we going to try and say, oh, it's Eli Apple's world and he's going to lock down the guy that no one else has seemed to be able to lock down? Give me Cooper Kupp with a ton of yards. The next one, plus 2,000, Aaron Donald MVP. A defensive player hasn't won it since 2016 when Rams defensive end Von Miller won it with Denver. And a defensive tackle has only won it once, which was when Randy White was the co-MVP for the Cowboys in 1978. As I mentioned, Burrow's been sacked more than 50 times this year. The offensive line is bad. Donald is going to have an absolute feast. I think this one may be similar to when they give the Lifetime Achievement Award, sort of like in the NBA where they're like, okay, Giannis, you've done your time. You deserve it now. I know you've been kind of the best player in the league a couple of years. Hey, James Harden, this is kind of your time now. Unless Cooper Kupp goes for like 200 yards or Stafford has, a touchdown that wins the game under 2 minutes or something like that, I think Donald's going to have the numbers. I think he'll have a couple sacks, maybe a forced fumble. He'll have enough to have warranted it, and I foresee them giving it to Aaron. Big pick.
I mean,
Plus two.
I saw when you sent me your picks in the pre-show, I almost just copied them. I was like, yeah, but then I was like, that's not how you have a sports gambling show. You don't just have the exact same picks for two guys. It's really dumb. So I had to dig into the weeds on this a
I
little
copied
bit.
all your Pro Bowl bets.
Yeah. Anyways, the next one I like, and this follows my thought that this game's going to be a shootout. I mean, I just hope and pray to God this thing's a shootout because I just want a nice, high-scoring, fun game. It'll be awesome to watch, keep me entertained the whole time. Not that the Super Bowl doesn't, but if this thing goes to a blowout, I'm looking at commercials more than I'm watching the game. But so for that to happen, I like the race to 20 bet here. Bengals plus 180. They're gonna have to score 35 points to win this game, and if they can get to 21 points, 3 touchdowns first, by also calling tails and getting that coin flip, I'm liking it. Give me the Bengals first 220 race plus 180. And this other one, I just like throwing it out there because I hadn't seen this bet in a while, and I was just kind of like, I like it. But we're gonna have first team to commit a penalty. I'm going with the Bengals as well. They've been pretty flagged this entire playoffs. I don't know the numbers. We'll have to get the interns on it. But I feel like they're a little bit more of a penalized team than the Rams are. So give me the Bengals to commit the first penalty at minus 125. First chalk pick I gave you guys all night. Let's make that money, baby.
One of my favorite stories all time in sports, which is saying something, is when former Ole Miss head basketball coach Andy Kennedy was arrested in Cincinnati. And as he's being led into the cop car, allegedly intoxicated, he said, "Hey, man, this is going to be a big international deal. I'm a sports figure." And the officer just doesn't miss a beat and says, "Sir, we deal with the Bengals all the time." And that is one of the funniest damn lines by someone not trying to be funny that's ever been said. And so I love that they're going to commit a penalty first. Doc, I have felt great in the history of this podcast about some whammies that I've given. Unfortunately, one of the ones that I really loved was the Packers -3 week 1 when they lost by, 600. I think it was 38-3 to the Saints. I still don't understand that. If they played this week, I'd bet that same line. Anyway, I've never, cue the siren, I have never liked a pick more than I like my whammy this week. How about that? How do you feel?
I like your whammy as well. I wanted to somehow – I was thinking about incorporating it, but my whammy I like a lot too. I'm thinking about making a sizable but responsible cut bet on this because we're cutting out the VIG. We're not giving Vegas any money. We're just in between us.
I know we don't have tons of time left before the game, but take all of your possessions, have a yard sale, sell everything you have. You want to be as liquid as possible. And you take all of that liquidity and you put it on this whammy. If you have a grandma still left on God's green earth, you give her a call and you say, Gam, I need a little extra cash. All right? Do what you got to do. Go get some blood drawn, get a couple bucks for that. If you got to mow some yards, whatever you have to do to get some more money to put on this pick, do it. Because I'm taking the over 95 seconds in the national anthem. Between 1991 and 2020, the average national anthem was 116 seconds. So we're already 21 seconds ahead on the average. Last year, Eric Church and Jasmine Sullivan, 137 seconds long. Best in the over-under here by 42 seconds there. So listen, I don't know anything about Mickey Guyton, who's apparently the country singer who will be singing it. I have never heard of her. And so why does that make me so confident? Because that means she's going to make a name out of herself and overdo the shit out of this song. Anytime it's someone who's not very well known, they want to leave people in their living rooms going, oh, who is that? That was good, right? What's her name? I'm going to look her up on Spotify. Trust me, she's going to just really push like she's going to hammer these notes. This is going to take an hour and a half to get through. If you have to pee, you'll be able to wash your hands. You'll be able to have a conversation with someone coming back from the bathroom, and she's still going to be singing. 95 seconds? Don't try me, Vegas. Over. What did Vince Carter say in the dunk contest? It's over.
Love it. LA is notoriously famous for extending things longer than they need to be. Music, soundtracks, video, movies, even police chases. They're just really good at extending things. Mm-hmm. So I like where your head's at there. What I am going with here is I am going to be giving you a golden parachute here. If you bet this and you put all of your liquidity, as Mr. Hildebrand so eloquently put earlier, all of your liquidity into this, it's gonna hit. I mean, there's no way this doesn't hit. It's like Mr. Hildebrand was saying, when that roulette wheel light up board is red, some bozo is gonna sit next to you and be like, "Oh, you should bet red." No, you bet black, which is why on this bet you bet tails. Put your house equity, get a second mortgage. If you're in the Midwestern states, go shovel some snow and out of some driveways, because you're going to need all the money you can get, because this coin is flipping on tails. It'll be a special commemorative coin, probably have SoFi Stadium on one side, and I don't know, the dueling helmets on the other side. I don't care what it is. Tails never fails. We are hitting and going to the bank and killing our bookies on this bet.
All right. Well, there you have it. You know, cue the Sarah McLachlan again that we'll get sued for. Last Gamblin Dans of the year. Before we let you go, I want to touch real quick on our final story of the night. A UFO hunter claims he found, quote, 100% proof, end quote, that there is life on Mars. Scott Waring, who runs the YouTube page UFO Sightings Daily, said he was watching the Mars rover when he spotted an alien figure that appeared to be laying on a rock. He zoomed in on the figure, which appears to be, according to him, a foot tall. Quote, "There's an object right over here, and I swear to God it looks like a human being laid down on a beach. Can you see this person laying down on one shoulder, their arm over there, their neck exposed? You can see the pinkness. They have reddish hair there," he continued. So, Doc, I sent you this picture. Are you convinced this is a man on Mars?
Absolutely, 100%. You cannot convince me that it is not. I was so taken away by this. I thought that you
go so hard at that.
I thought I was so taken away by this photo. I thought that you like PDF edited it, or this guy was editing photos. No. I did some deep dive research. This is a real unedited photo. It literally looks like somebody cropped in, like you said, a guy laying on the beach. I mean, this and then some of the other photos that were in there, the statues of humans on Mars. I mean, I am about to call this guy and see if I can help run his page. You know, UFOsightingsdaily.com. I'm on it right now. I mean, it looks pretty legit.
I want nothing more than for you to get this guy on the show. And for you to just, I will bow out. I'll put myself on mute. And the two of you just have at it. Just have a you and Scott Waring takeover of the show for a little while.
I mean, we've all seen the Tic Tac videos. It's not like we're saying aliens don't exist. It's clearly about to be released by the U.S. government that aliens are clearly a clear and eminent, presence in the world and in the universe. What are we talking about here?
That's something that really pisses me off. As you know, and we're not going to get deep into this, but I really hate politics. And one of the casualties of all the political nonsense out there right now is that we're not able to appreciate cool shit. Like, I think if they found the cure to cancer, it would be on the C block on a cable news station. Like, when the alien stuff came on, I thought I was like seeing things, because I was like, how the hell are we now talking about this? Yeah. This is like the shit we've talked about forever. And they're telling us like it exists, and we're just like, yeah, but did you see what happened on the Senate floor on Thursday? Like, no, lose me with that shit. Get me back with the alien stuff. But, Doc, I got a question for you. When I looked at this picture, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Start me with the bad, so then you can lift me up with the good news. I'm like a phoenix rising out of the ashes. Burn me down and then bring me back up.
So the bad news is this figure in the picture has reddish hair. And so if Martians really do exist and they're gingers, we are fucked. Like, we have not treated redheaded people well on this planet at all. I mean, other than Ron Howard, who's like, we let him do his own thing. He's made some great films. And he's in Happy Days. But the rest of the gingers, I mean, they probably don't even like us calling us gingers. They're going to get down here if they want to come visit. Like, maybe they like vacation here, or as New Yorkers say, they summer here. They come down and say, hey, so first things first, what's with all the shit talking about redheads, huh? Like, that's going to worry me, because I think I have some skeletons in my closet regarding comments on redheaded individuals, as you can tell by me referring them as gingers this whole time. And so that's not going to be good for us. And I'd be very worried if I was Matt Stone and Trey Parker, because those seem to be targets number 1 and 2. But the good news is that for those who haven't seen it, the alien appears to be laying like Burt Reynolds did on that magazine cover, or like David Hasselhoff then did with all like the Shar-Pei puppies around him. So they look kind of chill. If I'm calling a spade, like we're so worried it's going to be like Independence Day or Men in Black, that it's some Manifest Destiny takeover, which also I bet they know more about us than we know about them. And so I would have thought if they were going to take us over, they'd do it by now. I mean, come on, the 70s, that was not the world's best time. Anyone could have taken us over in the 70s. Everyone was just finding out about psychedelic drugs. Like, that was the time to strike. And they didn't do it. So I think they're actually going to be pretty friendly, aside from everything. I don't know if I trust this foot-tall Martian with how he's laying so seductively. But, I think you can vibe out with them, is essentially what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, unless they start pulling out laser blasters and all those kind of things, I'm not going to be worried about a 1 foot tall anything. I mean, I'm not even worried about 2 foot tall anything. So these guys can be twice as tall or as big as they are now.
If you saw a 2 foot tall spider, I don't think you'd be all right.
I'm waving my arm up and I'm getting ready to kick that thing into outer space, dude. I ain't worried about a 2 foot tall spider.
I honestly, I'm not a very emotional person. Well, no, I feel tons of emotions. Just I'm not a crier.
Yeah.
Other than on record, when my dog died, very big crier. Aside from my dog dying, not a crier. I think if I saw a 2 foot tall spider, I would cry on the spot.
Yeah. I mean, it was like in Harry Potter.
That would be my visceral reaction. Like, I don't cry in movies. I don't cry at funerals. I don't cry like at sad YouTube videos. But if I saw a 2 foot spider sitting in front of me, mano a mano, I would just stand there and cry.
Yeah. What was the good news? Is that they're only 1 foot tall? We don't need to worry about this?
No, the good news is that they looked relaxed.
They are chill. They are
just
chill.
try to vibe out. Like, if we saw them and they were like bench pressing, be like, oh shit, they're gearing up for something. I don't like the looks of this. Like, if they were doing target practice when we saw them, that's not good. But they just, like, he's just laying on a rock, just chilling, watching the Mars rover go by, and it's just like, oh, there's that thing again. Huh. I wonder why they don't just come say hello. Like, we're here. They could come say hello. They could bring cookies or brownies or something, but they just bring their weird little robot. You know what? It's fine. Let them do them. They can come to me on their own time, is what this Martian was saying. So they don't seem terribly aggressive, and that's just like me saying that the Super Bowl may be a blowout. I may come back to bite these words. Like, if there's only 20 people left on Earth and 3 of them are the Spaghetti Junction boys, I may have to give a broadcast of saying, hey, hand up, Maya culpa. They're kind of bad guys, but I don't foresee that.
Yeah, I like them. I'm already a fan of them. You send me up to Mars tomorrow, I'll go make friends with these people because I know how to talk to a brick wall. And, we'll be good.
I just imagine this Scott Waring guy turning on his coverage of the Mars rover, and it's just your ass with 6 bush lights in your hand.
Some guys want to party?
How did this guy get there?
I call my boy Elon. Get me to the moon.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, as always, for listening. You can check us out on our website, sjbatlanta.com, on Twitter at sjbatlanta, on Instagram at Spaghetti Junction Boys. Check out our YouTube channel as well, Spaghetti Junction Boys. Check out CutBet, KUTTBET, on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks, as always. We'll see you next week.